Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have got a great rack, both blanks, and the rest of the rack slightly unbingo-y. So there may not be a bingo this turn, but with two blanks, I would hope to be bingoing pretty soon. I'm going to go through one blank and see if a bingo comes to mind. And it has. I can see tub fast. So I'm inclined to stop there. And, well, yes, tub fast would get the B doubled. So the only thing better would be the F. Now, has my opponent scuppered me? He may well have done. It certainly doesn't play next to either E. Well, how annoying. So I think I may have to go through the alphabet again, trying to keep in mind these floaters. And interestingly, I've only got one vowel, which may suggest that one of the blanks ought to be a vowel. Now, the E is the most bingo-y vowel. F and B don't go very well together, and the U is not helpful. I think buffeted is only one T. Okay, so we've hit another vowel. Can't see anything here, although I would have the IFY ending. That gives me the full ending. This isn't looking promising. Now, one of the final vowels, I've got the out prefix, that's hopeless. Can't see anything there. The U doesn't look good. Okay, so tub fast doesn't play. What can I do? I'm just going to have a look at the floaters individually and themed to see if anything comes to mind. And it doesn't. So, can I get rid of the F and the B? So well, I can play fub down here for 27 points. Just checking that I'm not using anything as a blank. Okay, so I surely do have a bingo with this rack. I have at latels, parallel to themed, beginning next to the A. That would place an S in the middle of row O, so I would hope to do something a little less dangerous. FE takes nothing in front, so a play parallel to fub would need to begin next to or B. BE takes an O next to it. Well, I'm not seeing anything there. I have saltato beginning next to BE. Do I have anything through this T? Can't see anything. Great, my at latels spot remains available. I have saltato and voters. Do I have a double-double with an S in second place? So, let's see what comes to mind. And I'm looking for an S in second place. Not seen anything yet. It can be a bit of a curse having both blanks. Difficult to consider all possibilities in a timely fashion. I think Stratel is good. Okay, so I think I'll play Stratel because it takes no hooks. This may not be good. Let's find out. It's fine. And look at this, I have drawn a great rack. I have Muckiest onto the T of Stratel and onto the T of Themed. Fantastic. And there could be other bingos here, but I am guaranteed a bingo, and I'm already leading by 20 points. So a bit of a slow start with the FUB play and finding a bingo, or the best bingo, with the Stratel rack. But I've now got a bingo lined up on my rack, ready to go. Onto a D, I think I would have Musicked. Muckiest in row C is going to place an M in column 1, which may be quite volatile. Muckiest in column 10 doesn't do that, but it doesn't get doubled. So that would be an interesting decision if both remain available. Now, any other bingos? What about the L of Stratel? Can't see anything there. Vum takes an O in front for future reference. I don't think Muckiest has an anagram. I can't see anything through the A. Nice bingo by my opponent, 74 points. And I have Muckiest for 84. Pretty good. There may not be a bingo here, but they're bingo-y tiles, so I should be able to have a pretty good rack leave. I've got the Asian ending with EO. There could be some bingos here. I don't think there are any 7s. But a few floaters to consider, and in particular floating consonants M, C and K. Well, it's not a bingo, but I have Amotion in column 1. What about the C? Not seeing anything, and not seeing anything with the K. C only takes an H after it, so unlikely to be parallel plays to Muckiest, although there is still one H to come. Column 8 available for plays down onto this triple word square. That's not a spot I can score highly of, as I have no high scoring tiles. Now what about a play from the P? I have Patio and Option. For Option, 27 points, keeping AE. That's not bad. But I think Amotion would be my preference for 30, taking out a spot which could be useful for my opponent and with a slightly better rack lead and slightly better score. This E is underneath a triple letter square, which could be of value. Okay, opponent does take out column 1, only 36 points, which is fine, although he has gone into the lead. How did that happen? Well, I guess he's bingoed with a Capnias. So I have Option for 27. Again, a pretty bingo-y set of tiles, but slightly vowel heavy, and I'm not seeing a 7. But I have ciliated down from the C. Do I have anything with the N? Well, not that I can see, which is a shame. Otherwise I would be guaranteed to bingo. And if ciliated is blocked, then my next best non-bingo play is going to have a significantly lower score. I don't think any floating vowels are going to be helpful with this rack. Litanied, not good. But is there an anagram? I've got the anti-prefix. I've got the ed ending. So, not seeing anything there. Are there any other floaters to consider? I guess there's the R of voters. Needing to end with 2 vowels. Well, I've got a lot of vowels. Not seeing anything there. The U not particularly useful. So what if ciliated is blocked? What do I do? Where are the scoring tiles on this board? Well, tricky to see any. And do I have anything down from the R? Well, I have radii, keeping a let. Wow! Fantastic bingo from my opponent. A natural, no blank used. And he's taken my spot and he's gone into a 40-point lead. So, pretty impressive stuff. What can I do? Have I definitely not got a 7 here? Not that I can see. I have I Ridle in column 8. 21 points. But this is quite a good rack. I'd like to hang on to a lot of it. So, what about playing an I and stopping there? This rack goes quite well with the N. There are 7 letter lanes available in columns 2 and 4. 16 points. Not great. But if I play off any more tiles, I'll be damaging the bingoiness of this rack lead. This isn't an absolutely superb rack lead, but it's certainly vulnerable to pretty much any vowel. And there is only the floating N as a floating consonant on this board. But I am attracted by this. If it doesn't work out, there are 2 triple word squares on offer which will keep the board open. Can I do a little bit better? So I could play AIN, 9 points. No, I'm going to go with this, key for 16. I draw a vowel, but I have entailed in column 15. Is there a 7-letter play in columns 2 or 4? I don't think so. And wow, fantastic. And entailed remains available, and lineated is its anagram, and dateline. None of these get tripled. 13 minutes on my clock. I don't think there is a 7 here. Dilatee, not good. So what to play? I am behind by only 40, so this is going to put me in the lead. So I think I'll play up here. Dateline 460. Pretty awful. About as grim as it can get. 6 vowels. A long way from a bingo, and I've only got a 13-point lead. The F, my only saving grace. which does go above the E, but I'm looking to play off at least 2 vowels here, and I can't do that above the E. So I've got Pheno, 24 points, keeping 4 vowels. That is pretty grim. This is going to be a tricky rack to deal with. Through a D, I would have foodie, and that's the sort of rack I'm really looking for, but there are just no floating consonants on this board. Maybe I should change. But it's tricky to change when just playing OF. Gets 28 points. Are 5 vowels worth minus 28? I really could do with playing off 3 vowels. Maybe I should keep the F. I could just play AINE. Is there an alternative play in that spot? That would be 15 points. Certainly better than changing. Nothing goes after KI that I've got, apart from the F, which isn't useful. Now I've got an O for ovum. So I could just play double O. 13 points. That's probably not better than changing. Yob is good, so I could play oof, row, and yob. 24 points. Better than changing. AWEI, pretty horrendous, but it's, if you're going to have 4 vowels, those are the 4 you would want to have. Do I have a play parallel to Stratel running through this S? Just checking to make sure that my opponent is on turn. In the last game I spent ages thinking my opponent was on turn and they'd already played. So 9 minutes on opponent's clock, 12 on mine, 25 tiles in the bag. We are nearly 3/4 of the way through the game. And it's really tight, just 13 points between us. Both of the moves I like are around Cowbanes, and that could easily be blocked. Row H triple word square is quite attractive. Now, given that I have 6 vowels, let me check the remaining vowel situation. My opponent does go there. 8 out of 29. Okay. So I've still got oo. That scores 20 points, which is quite good when there's only 5 points between us. And I'm retaining the F for score, and I'm retaining vowels with a vowel dry bag. So, is oo the play? 20 points, that's a good score for just 2 vowels. And look at this, only 2 A's and 1 E to come, so I think if I can dodge the I's, then I may have a half-decent rack. I'm going with this. I pick one of the remaining I's and a W, but this isn't as bad as it looks. I've got Wifey in column 14, which is going to score quite well if my opponent hadn't gone there. 54 points, huge score for my opponent. He moves into a 40-point lead, 15 tiles in the bag. And I have this rack to deal with. I must bear in mind that there are very few vowels left. 5 out of 22. So I mustn't be in too much of a hurry to get rid of my vowels. And look at this, I do have a Wifey down here for 32 points, which keeps me in the game. The W not massively dangerous in row A. The A and the E, very useful tiles to keep, given how vowel light the bag is. So, wifey for 32. Great, that looks a pretty balanced rack, and it's good to have a scoring tile in the X. So is there any way of getting it on a really high scoring tile? And I'm looking at this triple letter square. 36 points for my opponent. He's still 40 points in front. And there are 6 tiles in the bag. And out of 13 tiles, there are only 2 vowels. So the game isn't over. Can I salvage it? And I'm looking for a big score with the X. Still one S to come. And I'm looking in column 8 to see if I've got an X play down onto this triple word square. Can't see one. No bingo down from the G. 10 minutes on my clock, so I'm in good shape time-wise. I can't see a way of getting my X on this triple letter square. So, although the X can sometimes be a great tile to have, I'm struggling to see any opportunities at all. I can't even use this double letter square. And I don't want to play off tiles too quickly because I'm behind. So, where to play? I'm thinking about playing down either side of Cowbanes. But I just can't see a play there. Well, I have Exile. Actually, this isn't too bad. 35 points, keeping a pretty good rack lead, given how vowel light the bag is. Keeping 2 vowels is a good thing. Slightly dangerous in that D, R, R, and S can all go on the end of Exile. So is there something similar in that spot? Certainly the score is good. So EXI, and the play could start higher up. LEX or REX. EXO. I'm not seeing anything other than Exile. And that is just inviting a big game-ending result. Exile will leave 2 in the bag. Well, it's interesting because if I play Exile, if opponent does play in row M, they will be opening a bingo lane. And I could have a bingo with this rack. Hope springs eternal. Seven minutes on my clock. Is there something better? What about Sorex? $44 points, that's a better score. Similarly balanced rack leave. Opponent again can score in column 15, but only probably by using both remaining vowels, so that's fairly safe. And in fact, given my vowel situation, this could be a spot that I can use and my opponent can't. I'm going with Sorex. Well, I didn't pick one of the remaining vowels, which is a shame. Do I have a play through that X? I'm not sure I do. This isn't a good pickup. Okay, so opponent does have a play. He's got a dreadful rack and he's got a 35-point lead. Can I go out in 2 and outscore my opponent? It's going to be tough. Just checking to see if I've got a play in row O onto this S. Can't see one. And I was just momentarily thinking about maybe I should have hung on to the S and played just saw. but I think my opponent would have had quite a few tiles which could hook it. So my H can go above this E, 6 minutes on my clock. So I could play AH, then opponent has nothing to go above the H, but then nor do I. But that's a good score, 28 points. But then I'm going to struggle to go out. What about a play in column 14? Beginning on this triple letter square. So a play maybe beginning GL. Gosh, not seeing a play there. It must be possible to get fairly close to my opponent, I think. But can I get close enough? 5 minutes on my clock. What about a play beginning on with this triple letter square? I'm not seeing anything. What about a play beginning just above this E? Helly, not good. But I'd quite like to hang on to the H. So I've got HI and AH. Now I do have column 5 because I have an L for oil. So what does Hill score? 17 points, not enough. Onto an L. I think I might have Guildhall, but there's no L. What a frustrating situation. I can't even see a way of getting close to my opponent. And it's frustrating that I can't find any play in column 14 because I think that would score quite well. I'm just not seeing a play there. So this is agonizing stuff. What am I missing? Nothing goes between F and Zar. I'm just looking around the board for spots I haven't considered. Can't see a way of getting my H on this triple letter square. And is there any way of setting up a difficult to block spot? Something like grill, but I don't have an E for then sticking on the end of that. Three minutes on my clock. Really, really frustrating. I think it's the G, the two L's and the D together. They're just really, really clunky. So what about held? It may not even be good. 19 points. Let me just check if it's good. It is good. So I've got 19 points. Then I've got gain, which plays. Do I have a second out? 2 minutes on my clock. I have Ragai, so I am going to go out with this. 19 points. 397. I'll trail by 16. Well, opponent may not have too many spots, so I think it'll be close. But I just get a feeling this isn't going to be quite good enough. But at least I can go out in 2 and run him close. I'm going with held. So what's the best I can do with... Wow, Opponent only got 8 points. What am I going to get on countback? 6, which will be 403. I need to score 18 to draw. And I don't think I'm going to do that. I've got gain for 10. Wow, this has been a close one. 1 minute on my clock. Have doesn't take an A after it, and I don't have an out in that spot anyway. Just looking around for anywhere great for my, or anywhere better than 8 for gain. 50 seconds on my clock. I have Raggy for the same score. I think I'm going to call it a day and accept defeat. So Raggy for 10, and game would have been 10 as well. And the final score, 413 to me, 421 to my opponent, a winning margin of 8 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. They played themed, and I had this great rack, but did I miss something? Well, I didn't miss a bingo, and most of these top plays are burning one of the blanks, so I actually do like my play. Opponent has overbeats. Wow, tricky one to spot through BE, a 9-letter word. Plays voter. And now I go with Straddle for 68. I could have got 6 more points, H8, beginning with the D of themed onto this triple word square. Well, I know I didn't consider that, and I should have done. Dilatant and dilatate. So a few points missed there. And opponent has a choice of bingos. Plays a Capnias. And I have Muckiest, which was the only bingo, so very fast start to the game in some ways, with both of us getting bingos down and just 30 points between us. Opponent's rack plays Unmiry. Wow, I thought I'd missed a bingo for a moment. Themed takes AN at the front. Fantastic. 42 points. I didn't see that. I got 27 for option, 15 fewer points. And AE, is that 15 points better than EIOOT? Not sure. It may be close, and it may be dramatically away from 15. So I play option, and opponent now has Cowbanes, which was a fantastic spot, the only playable bingo. And it blocked my Ciliated. I didn't have an alternative bingo. And I played KI, or key. Fishing for a bingo next go. A4, Alki for 29. Yep. Well, I think detail is a pretty good 6-letter set, especially with the floating end, so I still like my play. Opponent plays G, and now I have these 3 bingos through the N. Opponent's rack. He plays Gene, and now we're only 5 points apart, but I have this horrible, horrible rack. Wow, Fluey, where's that? Oh gosh, down through the L of Straddle. That would have certainly sorted my rack out. Instead I played double O for 20. Yeah, Fluey would have been a better play. Opponent plays Gazed, and that scores a lot, 54 points, and he moves into a 40-point lead. I have Wifey for 32. Opponent with just the 1 vowel is able to play Jury for 36 and leave a decent rack leave. Now, what could I do with the X? That would have been a better play. I played Sorex, but I think Salex or Silex would both have been better. They would both have retained the O for ovum. And yeah, Sorex just not quite as good. Opponent plays Axons, which he would have had regardless of the alternatives to Sorex. But I think I would have had a better shot with this rack, with the alternative picks or the alternative keeps from playing those other plays. Now, at this point, I am 35 points behind. I can see what my opponent's got. B5, GHI for 33, keeping Dahl, and Dahl's is good, I think. I wonder if there's a second out. But 33 points would have taken me to 411, just 2 points behind. Wow. That might have been the play, but Dahl may only exist with an E at the end. Anyway, what else is available down here? Halid for 23. Yep, keeping GL. Well, nothing obviously winning, so I play Held for 19. Opponent has Pav, and then Raggy and Gain for 10 are the highest scoring outs. So a really close game, and a tricky end game and pre-end game. The key move, I think, was the Sorex one. I think the alternatives may have increased my chances of winning the game, but not necessarily guaranteed it. But anyway, a really close game. So well done again to my opponent. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.